Jungkook looked at him. His gaze was softening. I'm sorry. I should ask you before choosing the restaurant. I wanted tonight to be perfect for you, he said, and his voice was filled with that tremors. Tim reached across the table, placing his hand on top of him. Cook, it's not about the restaurant or the food. It's about being here with you. Spend this time together. That words will make it perfect. They reassured him, and his eyes were filled with that love. And Jungkook smiled, a mixture of relief and that gratitude was shining in his eyes. I'm lucky to have you, Taeyoung, he said, and squeezed his hand gently. As they left the restaurant, hand in hand, Taeyoung couldn't help but think about how much Jungkook had changed, all for him. The sky was getting cloudy, with dark clouds, and the wind was blowing. Wait here, okay? I'll bring the car, he said before making the way toward the parking lot. Soon the rain would start pouring. They hugged closer to his ambulance, to the restaurant to seek the shelter from the rain. The atmosphere was turning romantic, with a few kids were playing near the road. A playful smile made it on his face. Soon he turned with an umbrella, but there was nowhere to find. He told to stay here. Where is he? He whispered to himself before glanced at and dared to find him. Soon his eyes were fell on Taeyoung, who playing and dancing with the kids, danced in pouring rain. His hair was stuck on his face, and that dress was clenched to his body. The rain, they say, that unaffected, with a peaceful smile on his face. His heart skipping a beat as he approached him, the realization that dawning into him, that he was enjoying the rain with the kids. As he reached to the side, he held the umbrella over both of them, and shielding him from that downpour, they turned toward him and had the same smile were making his heart were restless. Taeyoung, what are you doing out here in the rain? You'll get sick, he said, and in his voice, they turned completely toward him, and his eyes were sparkling with the joy. I couldn't resist. It's the first rain of the monsoon season, so one should definitely enjoy it, right? They replied, and his voice was down with the sound of raindrops hitting his face and the body. They took the umbrella from Jungkook before throwing it away. They laughed. Enjoy the first rain, Cook, they said, and joining the kids again. He couldn't help but smile at his. He stared at them with a mix of admiration and the love in his gaze. Taking the jacket off, he made the way toward him and grabbed his fist. He turned his face to him. Taeyoung gasped with their warm fingers were made the contact with his cold bare wrist. Taeyoung slowly tilted his head up. What are you doing, Cook? They said, feeling shy by the silent gaze that was burning hole in his body. What do you think I am doing? He questions him instead of answering and hurried. I have something to tell you. His voice was filled with that. I know we got married under different circumstances, but being with you has made me the happiest I have ever been. You have brought so much joy and love into my life, and I can't imagine my life without you, Tae. Will you marry me again? This time, out of love. He finally let out his heart wind. He finally told him his feeling, and Taeyoung's eyes were winded in surprise at that heartfelt confession. They could see that in his eyes and feel the depth of his emotion through his touch. His heart raced as he processed that of his word. Tears were welled up in his eyes, and they searching for the right word to respond. Taking a deep breath, they spoke with that voice. Jungkook, you have no idea how much you mean to me. Being with you has brought me so much happiness. I never thought that would be possible. Even every moment we spent with that was blessing. And I love you more than the words you can express. A small smile would grace his lips as they continue. Yes, Jungkook, I will marry you again. Not out of that, but out of love. I want to spend that rest of life with you. creating memories, and shared love with the pure unconditional of hours. The boy would hang in the air, mingling with the gentle rhythm of air drops, and that moment was surrounded by that innocent and joy of children. They embraced each other, their loves were shining bright in their eyes. He smiled as his eyes were shining with that unshed tears. Jungkook slowly leaned toward him and started glad at their eyes once again. May I? Thought there was his wife, but he wanted his permission. Oh dear, they smiled as he wiped his tear with the back of his palm before nodding his head. Yes, without wasting any time, Jungkook gently placed his gaze on him. That was unmoving for a second before Jungkook started moving it slowly and mounting each other. Jungkook's right hand made its way toward the nap, deep in that, and Taeyoung and Jungkook has entered the house, danced and made their way toward their bedroom. Almost immediately it was 9 of the clock, which means Miss John, Jungkook's mother already had dinner and went to the bed. As soon as they entered the room, Jungkook pulled him by his waist, collided with the body of his. He captured his mouth in that sensual passionate. His other hand was carrying the side of the waist, but drawing circle. They mourned, with he bent his waist, giving him that access to enter the mouth. Their tongue would collide. His left hand was making its way toward his wet hair, grabbing a handful of its waist. They twisted it completely, trying his shirt to keep himself on his knees. That was getting stirred up. Getting out of the bed, they both were parted a little. Their breaths were hitting each other. Taeyoung lowered his eyes timid, but they were only boosted the male ego of Jungkook. He slowly kissed the left cheek with a thumb. His breath was hacked, and they hacked him tightly, trying to hide in between that broad chest. His fingers slowly slid the mane and buried his face to the cock of his neck. His mouth was slightly parted, feeling that soft kisses. A shriek left his mouth, and he suddenly took him in his arm in bridal style. His eyes met his. All the courtesy was love, love, and love, with a little hint of desire. No words were leaving their mouth, but heavy breaths. He made the way toward that washroom, and him in his arm, and Jungkook held him tightly, as if he was afraid that vanished they let it go of him. Entering that bathroom, Jungkook slowly put him to the back of the floor. His eyes were not leaving him, and hand went behind them, making him close his eyes. The shower was start pouring, making them wet again, closing that fine inches between them. They held his face and tilted it a little to place a gentle kiss on his side of his mouth. His lips were sliding toward his ear before biting it a little and making him whimper. He smeared against his skin. Love, I'm all yours, he whispered huskily, making his knees go weak. His hand was slowly gazing the way to his chest before sliding his shirt down, leaving it with. He pulled himself away for gazing at him. They looked internal. His chest was going up and down due to heavy breaths. He cursed. The side in front of him was going to be the death of him. The hand would unknowledgely way toward his chest and try to hide himself. No, please have mercy on me. I want to see how beautiful my wife is. Please give me that opportunity to see him. Hearing his words, their mouth left a whimper moan. They ran down to his body. His mind felt uneasy. They was not able to look into his eyes, which making him hurt. Please, look at me. His hoarse voice, and Jungkook was trying his best to not take the right hair. They slowly raised his head and glared at him. The wet hair was stuck on his forehead. His white shirt was transparent and stuck to his body, which giving him the view of his broad chest and his strongly built abs.